The animals are all the way in the back chewing on grass. But I mean, I ain't really, so I got rain coming in this week, but I didn't put any fertilizer on the grass. And it's kind of warm, but, it ain't really been, raining. Or, not raining, it's been cold up until about 5 days ago. So I think that the grass is still dormant. So I didn't put any fertilizer on it, but if it stays warm, if it stays over 35 degrees for the next week, I will go ahead, and the next time it rains, I will put fertilizer on the grass, because then I will believe that the grass is going to start exiting dormancy, and we might just have an early spring. February, sometimes it gets cold in February, but sometimes it don't. And winter wheat, it will still grow down to about 30 degrees. It won't die until about 30 degrees. So if it stays warm for about another week, and then if it rains after that week, I will then go ahead and put fertilizer on the grass. And so I've been taking a look at everything. I've been taking a look at what I got going on. I got some feed in the troughs for I got some feed in the bunks for the animals. And so I've been taking a look at everything that I got going on. I've been taking a look at the numbers. I've been taking a look at everything. What am I looking to accomplish? I got a lot of things coming up this next month or two. I gotta get everything squared away to go to the bank and get a loan. All right, I'm looking to leverage my income. I'm getting everything lined up so that as I start depositing the checks for my cattle sales into my bank account, I can actually do that steadily. All right, I'm actually looking at depositing money into my bank account every single month for the long foreseeable future. If anything, the amount that I'm depositing is actually going to go up. And I talked about how I'm going to do that, right? The strategy for how I'm going to do that. The utilization of different capitals, right? I have my herd. The cattle are worth something, and if you want to figure out what cattle are worth, how do you do that? You go on the stock market, you go on the commodity market, and then you look up the feeder cattle price, right? That's how you figure out what your cattle are worth. Cattle are worth money. All right, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and have your beef worth $0. It's not going to happen. Right, and that's not ever going to happen. Right, I talk about this in terms of the beef business. If anything, T-bone steak right now is selling for $12 a pound, and if anything, in 10 years, it's going to be selling for $14-15 a pound. Okay, all right. The price of T-bone steak is not going to zero. All right, beef is not ever going to be free. I don't even think T-bone steak is going to go below $10 a pound. All right, the price of beef is not going to free ever. All right, and so in terms of everything that I got going on, and I wanted to talk about this today, and I think that this is going to be one of those things that it's like when you and I got all these pigeons out here, and they're pooping and eating the feed, and I'm gonna see if I can get these pigeons away from the feed bunk. And so here's the thing, I think that a lot of people, the thing about me that I think is is kind of an interesting perspective is that when you look at my situation, the thing about me is that I legitimately have zero money concerns. And I think that this is one of the most interesting things that I could talk about. My situation, if you take a look at me, do I have the nicest things? No, I don't have the nicest things. But I mean, it don't really matter to me. I'm not saying I'm a saint. I'm just saying it is what it is. And I think that the thing that is most is like what the heck, like a lot of people don't understand is that I legitimately have zero money concerns. Zero. None. 0%. All right, if I take a look at what I'm doing on the average hour, and this is a very realistic way for me to put it. Last night I fell asleep, and when I fell asleep, I slept for 8 hours. And in those 8 hours that I was asleep, I made about $8,000. All right, and this is why I talk about the importance of investing. Why do you want to invest? All right, this is also a very realistic idea of why do you want to invest. My business is making money. My cattle are still growing. The amount they're growing has a monetary value. If my business makes money, then the business is evaluated at a multiple of those earnings. I have land, right? I mean, etc., etc. And this is the most realistic way for me to put it. I fell asleep, I woke up, and I slept 8 hours. And by the time I had fallen asleep and then woken up, I had made myself about $8,000. And here's the thing about my situation, is that, when it comes to farming, when I take a look at it just for what it is, okay? We're not gonna see a bunch of robots farming, running cattle in the next 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Cattle are I'm gonna see if I can scare these pigeons away. Cattle, we're not gonna see robots and AI, taking over the entire cattle industry in the next 30 years, okay? And when I take a look at it for what it is, people are still going to be eating beef. All right, it just is what it is. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, people are going to eat beef. All right, the price of T-bone steak is not going to free. Even if they make, fake beef in a lab, people will still eat the real thing. If anything, the real thing will be served at a premium. All right, running cattle is one of those things that, the average person does not want to do it. A lot of people don't want to do it. All right, chances are you're watching my video and you don't want anything to do with this business. There's a very realistic possibility that a lot of people, like my brother, my mom, I mean, they're actually scared of the animals. They can't even get close to the animals without getting scared and running away. All right, cattle are different. I mean, and you can't raise a mama cow in captivity and have her, and she won't have calves in captivity. I mean, and it's a different, the nature of the beast. It's different. All right, and if you take a look at it, I mean, it just is what it is. People are still going to be eating beef. All right, and the thing about me and what I mean by I legitimately have zero money concerns is that if I lost everything, I've already realized all of these different things. I've already come to the conclusion on these various different things. The $4,000 a month, the $5,000 a month that I need to run a $5 million business is not what's stopping me from running my business. All right, the $5,000 a month is negligible. All right, for about $5,000 a month, I run a business that's evaluated roughly, probably roughly close to around, somewhere around $5 million. All right, I can probably pull $11,000-$12,000 cash out of my business every single month and not to cause any damage to my business. I could actually grow my business at the same time as I pull the money out the business if I felt like it. The thing about it right now is that I can't do that because I have, my facilities are not set to do that, right? As of right now, my facilities are not set to do that, and I actually just, instead of building the facilities here, I actually just want to get myself a bigger field. All right, and that's the thing about me is that I legitimately have zero money concerns, none. And I think that is what, I think that one of the things that it's like, if I was going to say that my perspective is different than the majority, that would be one of the things that I legitimately have zero money concerns. Zero. Like zero, none whatsoever. All right, people are still going to be eating beef in 30 years. People are still going to be eating beef in 40 years. When it comes down to it, I'm the one who knows how to make the money in the beef industry. I'm the one who makes the money. Money talks. It doesn't matter. I don't care for opinions. It just is what it is. Like, imagine being in my situation. Right? It just is what it is. I mean, I run a multi-million-dollar business. I have millions of dollars in collateral. I'm net positive cash flow, like $12,000-$14,000 a month. It just is what it is, right? I mean, let's just take a look at it for what it is. I mean, it just is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. All right, and I don't care for opinions. I mean, the money talks. I mean, do you think I'm gonna? Oh my God, right, I fell out of heaven at 7 and I was born with the answer, and there's no way that this guy, do you think I care about? I don't care about that. I have, I could go to the bank right now and take $500,000 and put it in a hole and light it on fire, and it wouldn't even do anything to me. I'm the one who knows how to make the money, and at the end of the day, I'm the one who actually makes the money. Right? I make more money than effectively everybody in the entire country. And when you take a look at my situation, I legitimately have zero money concerns. And I think that is something that not even 0.1% of me is concerned about money at all. Not at all. I actually think about different things, like how many animals do I think I'm going to take to market every month, right? What kind of animals am I going to bring in? How much am I going to pay for these animals? What do I think the commodity markets are going to do? Do I have a realistic business plan? What kind of fertilizer do I want to put on my grass? When do I want to put that fertilizer on the grass? Those are the things that I think. I don't even think about money. All right, when I take a look at money, I mean, I'm already, I'm net positive, $14,000 a month. All right, I mean, I bought everything that I could possibly, need or want, and I still have like $14,000 a month left over. What am I going to do with the money, right? And this is actually something I wanted to talk about right now too. I've actually decided that I'm going to go and do myself about a $2 or $3 million deal. And here's a very realistic, realistic idea of what I mean by when I say I don't worry about money. Let's talk about a $2 or $3 million deal. And and when I was first looking at these deals, it was kind of nerve-wracking, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I, But now I've actually come to the conclusion that I actually want to do a $2 or $3 million deal. And here's the thing. For me to float let's say I want to float $3 million worth of debt. If I want to float $3 million worth of debt, what I actually think about is, can I run 120 cattle at the same time? That's what I think about. Because if I can run 120 cattle at the same time, I can pay for the loan. I can pay for the loan. It's not a big deal. The loan is now negligible. It's free money. So that's what I think about when I think about, can I do a $3 million deal? That's what I actually think about. Can I run 120 cattle? And I already run 35, 40 animals on this 10.5 acre field right now, as of today. So if I triple my business, I can actually do a $3 million deal, and the deal would effectively be free money. I would take the loan and I would purchase an equitable asset. I would purchase a big old piece of land. On that piece of land, I would start my business. That business is equitable. My business revolves around effectively the trading of commodities. Commodities are equitable. All right, I can get a rough idea appraisal value of these animals because they are a commodity. Land is you can get an appraisal value for land. The banks will do that for you. And the business, if I make money, then the business is equitable. And so that's the thing about me. And I've always said that the whole thing about my situation is that if I felt like, oh my God, let's say I went and I bought myself a 350 acre ranch. Let's say I went and bought myself a 400 acre ranch. I dropped a $3 million on it. And I said, I want to buy this ranch, and I just paid the $3 million for it. And I was sitting there on that ranch, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to run 120 cattle. I don't want to run 150 cattle. I don't want to run 200 cattle. Let's just say that for some reason I ended up in that situation. I don't know how I ended up in that, but it's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. I mean, I already run 40. I just have to triple the number of cattle that I'm running. And if I triple the number of cattle that I'm running, I could easily float the debt, and I would actually make myself a living as well. So here's the situation. Does that sound like a realistic situation that's going to happen to me? Oh, well, I don't want to run 120 cattle. Oh, well, I don't want to be a farmer anymore. I just want to go back and sit on my 10.5 acre field and make $20,000 a month for the rest of my life. It's not going to happen, right? And if it did happen, then I can always come back to a 10.5 acre field and make $20,000 a month for the rest of my life. All right, that's what I see when I take a look at it. All right, do I think I can run 120 cattle? If I ran 120 cattle at the same time, what would that look like? Well, I would need 4 different preconditioning pens, and 4 or 5 preconditioning pens. I would need to be able to separate about 5 animals into, I would need to separate about 20, 25 animals into about 5 different preconditioning pens, 25, 30 animals into 5 different preconditioning pens. You know, I can grow my grass. I can grow grass on, you know, the grass is effectively free. And if, you know, if I buy myself a 350 acre ranch and I have 120 animals, I actually probably don't need to buy any feed at all. And here's the, you know, and you know, whatever it may be. All right, you know, and you know, I'll probably end up running more than 120 animals at the same time. You know, I would actually anticipate that the amount of money that I make actually goes up on an exponential vertical scale. All right, you know, I'm getting everything ready, right? I'm getting everything ready. You know, I want to go and talk to the banker, right? I want to go and talk to the banker about the loan. How am I going to go, you know, what do I want my paperwork to look like when I go to the bank? Right, I'm dropping a certain amount of money in my bank account every single month. My business is producing this income every single month. My balance sheet looks good. My animals are in the net positive. I'm not pulling the maximum amount of cash that I can out of my business. I'm just pulling this amount of money out of my business because that's the amount of money that I can pull out of my business without causing any damage to it. Right, and then, you know, if I really wanted to grow my herd and pull money out of my business at the same time, I could actually pull the money out at the same time, take a net appraisal value for the animals that I have left, determine if they're in the net positive, and if they're in the net positive, I could actually just take a loan for that amount and just purchase the animals. Or, you know, the net positive evaluation of the entire herd if I felt like it. Not just the net positive amount, but for the entire herd if I felt like it. I could go to the bank right now and, you know, and take a loan for 21 more animals and pull $11,000 cash out of my bank at the same time. Out of my business at the same time, and it wouldn't even damage my business. It would just put me at zero. It wouldn't even put me in the negative. I've already made the money. And a way to think about this is if I sold my 33 animals, how many animals do you think I could buy? Think about it. Sit there and think about it. If you say anything under 45, you're a complete idiot. I don't know how you, I don't know what, you know, it's like how, you know, how. After all this time, that is still how you think. All right, how? I don't understand. I mean, take a look at the animals. Take a look at the kind of animals that I have. Take a look at their body conditioning score. Take a look at their weight. Right, you know, etc., etc. If I sold these animals, how many animals do you think I could buy? If I bought them at the business plan weight. All right, I mean, and that's the thing about me is, like, you know, I legitimately have zero money concerns. Zero, none whatsoever. Even if I lost everything today, even if I lost everything, you know, I would actually probably far exceed what I did. Because, you know, it's like, it don't matter to me, right? I mean, it don't matter to me, you know, the $4,000 a month that I need for this business is not what's going to stop me, right? I mean, it doesn't matter to me, right? I mean, you know, I go and I take a loan for 20 cattle. What's that going to cost me? About $150 a month. All right, I go and buy the 20 cattle. I buy the right type of cattle. I pay you know, the appraisal value for these animals, roughly the appraisal value for the animals. I buy the right type of cattle. I put them on the right type of medication. I put them on the right type of feed. You know, I raise them to a commercial standard. And when I do that, I liquidate the animals when I need the money or the animal cannot be appreciated in value anymore. And then I just make my return. Boom, you know, and I don't care about the $150 that it costs for the 20 animals. I don't care about the $150. The $150 is the least of my worries. All right, what kind of animal am I going to buy? What am I going to, you know, how much am I looking to make on the animal? You know, what kind of medication am I going to put them on? What kind of feed am I going to have them on? What kind of body conditioning score do I anticipate that I want the animals to be when I take them to market? What weight do I want them to be at when I take them to market? Am I going to be growing grass? What kind of fertilizer am I going to put on the field? All right, how much biomass am I going to accumulate on the field? What are the different, you know, soil conditions that I have? Do I have a clay loam? Do I have a pH of 6.5? I mean, what's going on? That's the kind of stuff I worry about. I don't sit there and go, oh my God, I don't have $150. I can't run 20 cattle. All right, I don't think like that. And this is, you know, if you think like that, then that's very not good. All right, I've always said that money is always the easy part. You don't have to worry about the money. You should worry about other things. What kind of cattle am I going to buy? How much am I going to pay for them? Am I going to grow grass? If I grow grass, what kind of fertilizer am I going to put on it? When am I going to feed the grass? At what stage of development am I going to feed the grass? All right, you should be worrying about other things. You should be thinking about other things. The money is always the easy part. And even if I lost everything today, it wouldn't even matter. All right, because I could easily redo everything within 3 seconds. Like if I legitimately lost everything today, and within 3 seconds, I wouldn't even sit there and go, pity is me, and throw myself a pity. I wouldn't even care. I would just immediately go and look for a new farm and just start myself another cattle ranch. All right, it don't matter to me. I mean, I legitimately have zero money concerns, and a lot of people, there's a small sliver of them that actually have money concerns. Oh my God, well, what if my business failed? Oh my God, well, right? I mean, they have small money concerns, but me, I legitimately have zero money concerns. And I think that is what is like maybe it's off-putting, or it's different, or I don't know, but I would say that is one thing about my perspective that is different than almost everybody on the entire planet. I legitimately have zero money concerns. I fell asleep last night, and by the time I slept for 8 hours, and by the time I woke up, I had made myself about $8,000. If this video takes me 30 minutes to make, within that 30 minutes I would have made myself $500. If I go to the bank right now and I tell them give me $500,000, and I take that $500,000 and I shovel it all into a hole in the ground in my backyard, and I light it on fire, it wouldn't even do anything to me. All right, I mean, I legitimately have zero money concerns. I have zero money concerns, none whatsoever. And I think that is and I think that's also one of it's a good thing, right? I mean, and when I talk about these things, I think it's a good thing. So sometimes when you take a look at somebody, even if they have nice things, they have money concerns. Oh my God, I leveraged myself to the eyeballs to do this, and it was a horrible idea. Deep down they understand that it was a horrible idea, but they're not going to admit it to themselves, and etc., etc. All right, I mean, you can have nice things but still have money concerns. Me, I'm not like in a pathetic situation either. I mean, I drive a nice truck. I have a perfectly nice home. Right? I mean, I have an excess of money left over every single month. I do very well for myself. Even if I lost everything, I could redo it all within 3 seconds. It doesn't matter. Right, I mean, and I think that this is one of the most interesting things about my situation, is that I legitimately have zero money concerns. And it's like, and a way to put it is like, imagine Walmart, the CEO of Walmart, or Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon. And actually, I think that, people, even though they have a large amount of money, if they think about it, losing their company right now, that they would be concerned about it. But me, even if I lost my business, it wouldn't matter to me. I could just redo all of it from the very beginning. It wouldn't even matter. Even if I lost everything, I could redo all of it. I would get right back to where I was within 8 months. I would be a multi-millionaire within 8 months. It wouldn't matter to me. And I actually think that a very good example of somebody else that can do this, somebody else that can turn $5,000 a month into $5 million, is Warren Buffett. That's somebody, I don't think that the Walmart, I don't think that Walmart could be redone. I don't think Amazon could be redone from the very beginning. Other companies would overtake their market share, and but I think that Warren Buffett could do it too. When I take a look at somebody, and I want to describe somebody, it's like when I take a look at somebody and I'm like, this is a person who could also turn $5,000 a month objectively into $5 million very, very rapidly. Warren Buffett could do it too. I think Warren Buffett could do it. And I could do it too, no problem. Even if I lost everything today, instantaneously, it would not even matter. I would just redo everything. And it's not like, oh my God, it wouldn't matter to me. I'm serious, it would not matter at all. And I legitimately have zero money concerns, and I think that is something that is different about me, that I think that is it's interesting to most people, or not. I mean, maybe it's off-putting, I don't know, right? I mean, a lot of people are a massive pile of problems. It doesn't matter. There's nothing I can do. Nothing that anything can be done to save these people. I mean, you know, a lot of people, you know, if I mean, you know, if you know, you have to come to the conclusion that you're going to have to help yourself. All right, there is no saving people. If you give somebody a fish, they'll eventually run out of fish. If you give them a fish, they'll eventually run out of fish. And then when they run out of fish, they'll effectively go back to being a bum beggar. All right, you know, please give me another fish. Forever, I guarantee it. You have to teach people how to fish. And that's one of my big things is, you know, I'm looking to teach people how to fish, right? Invest your money. When you invest your money, you're looking to buy something that is equally as valuable as the money. And when you do that, you're not actually buying anything. You're just trading your money for something that is equally as valuable. With the intentions of when you buy this thing, when you invest in this thing, that it's actually going to go up in value, you know, within a reasonable margin. Are you going to become a multi-billionaire by buying the S&P 500? No, you're not. Probably not. Right, you know, are you going to be able to effectively make enough money to where money won't matter to you anymore if you buy the S&P 500? Sure, that could happen. Right, I mean that's a that is a very realistic possibility. All right, you can actually make enough money to where the money won't matter. For the average person, the S&P 500 is probably a better investment than it's a very good investment from what I see. The S&P 500 is a phenomenal investment. It's the 500 biggest companies in America. You know, it's a small piece of the 500 biggest companies in America. The overall asset market is actually tied, is actually counterweighted by the bond. Right, and if we were in a situation where the overall U.S. economy plummeted, interest rates would plummet and bonds would skyrocket. And if that happened, it wouldn't matter that your S&P 500 stock went to 50%. It wouldn't matter because you could borrow money at borderline 0% interest rates, maybe even negative. And then it wouldn't matter because you could borrow the money for free anyway. And then you could just borrow the money against your stock or whatever. And it would be free money. I mean, you know, et cetera, et cetera. All right, do I think that that's going to happen? No, I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that inflation, I think that over the next 10 years, we're actually going to have a stable inflation, or it's going to be a little bit severe. All right, and so that's what I think. And so, but that's legitimately my situation. I have zero money concerns. It's been 27 minutes, and in those 27 minutes, I've made myself about $500. I fell asleep last night. I slept for 8 hours, and by the time I woke up, I had made myself about $8,000. All right, I could go to the bank right now and just tell them give me $500,000, and if I took that $500,000 and I shoveled it into a hole in the ground in my backyard and I lit that money on fire, it wouldn't even faze me. All right, do I want to go and do I want to go and buy myself a Lamborghini? No, I don't. What do I want to do with the money? I want to expand my business. I want to grow my business, and this is something that I was thinking about, and I've been talking about this, but I want to do about a $2 or $3 million deal. I've decided that I want to do about a $2 or $3 million deal, and the way I think about it is, do I want to run 120 cattle? If I took a $3 million deal, do I want to run 120 cattle? Do I think I can run 120 cattle? What would it look like for me to run 120 cattle? That's what I think about. I don't even think about the $3 million. If I can run 120 cattle and I can do it well, then the $3 million is free money. It's free money. I can just use the asset to pay for the debt, and I will still make a comfortable living. I will still have an excess of money left over. And if you want to take a look at what the excess money looks like on a 10.5 acre field for me, I could simultaneously pull $11,000 a month out of my business while expanding my herd at the same time, and it wouldn't even put me in the negative. It would just put me at zero. That's what money looks like for me. I legitimately have zero money concerns. Even if I lost everything, it wouldn't matter to me. I could just redo everything, and it wouldn't even take me but 6 months. All right, even if I lost everything, I would be a multi-millionaire again. In less than a year, I would be a multi-millionaire. I would be right back to where I was. So much money, I can't do anything with it. I legitimately have zero money concerns. Zero. None whatsoever. And I think that that is like, oh, that, you know, that's kind of interesting, right? It's kind of interesting. I legitimately have zero money concerns. If I want to make more money, I'll just, which I don't really, I've already said that me expanding my business, the intention is not to just make more money. I want to challenge myself, and I think that I'm doing good work, and, that's the kind of stuff that I think about, right? I mean, but if I wanted to make more money, I would just run more cattle. I wouldn't go and throw a Hail Mary into the middle of nowhere. So, maybe if I go on this magical journey, it's going to work out for me in some mystical, magical fashion. I wouldn't do that. I would just run more cattle. And I can make myself more money. And so, I mean, I legitimately have zero money concerns. Zero, none whatsoever. No, I'm not going to go and save people. All right, I don't save people. There is no saving people. If you give a man a fish, eventually he'll run out of fish. And when he runs out of fish, he'll go back to acting like a bum beggar. If you really want to learn how to farm, I can give you the best information that I can and show you what a successful farm looks like. I made it into the top 0.00001% of the entire U.S. economy. I don't have any money concerns at all. I don't even worry about money. I think about different things. And I can show you what that looks like. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to put in the work yourself. There is no skipping the work. If you legitimately think that you can skip the work and that you were born, oh my God, well, I fell out of heaven at 7 in my dreams and my, nobody cares. You're going to end up launching yourself off a cliff. And then then you'll go in the hole so bad that you'll lose everything forever. All right. There is no skipping the work. All right, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, if you're gonna be an idiot, go and be an idiot by yourself and then die alone. All right, don't take anybody else down with you. I'm serious. It's not good. I mean, if you want to make it, you're gonna have to put in the work yourself, and you're gonna have to go and do it yourself. All right, this is not some this is not some fairy tale journey. This is not some Disneyland trip. All right, and when you take a look at my situation, I legitimately have zero money concerns, zero, none whatsoever. I make an excess of money. I make an excess of about $12,000, $14,000, $15,000 a month. I legitimately have zero money concerns. I'm actually looking at growing my business by about 350%. All right, I'm actually looking at increasing the amount of money that I make is about to go up on a vertical exponential scale. And if I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore, I wouldn't just be throwing money into a pit. I would be buying a bunch of equitable assets. All right, I would have a bunch of equitable assets. And if I decided that I didn't want to do it anymore, I could just liquidate the assets at fair market value. And if I did that, I would get a majority of my money back. And then I could just come back and farm a 10.5 acre field forever. If that's legitimately what I wanted to do, if I wanted to sit on a 10.5 acre field and make $20,000 a month for the rest of my life, I could always come back and do that. All right, so, and I'm not worried about the money. $3 million is effectively, if I can run 120 cattle at the same time, if I can run 120 cattle at the same time, $3 million is free money. It's free. I would be dumb to not take it. Because, if I took that $3 million and I invested it and then I made myself an exponential amount of money on top of that, why would I not take it? Right? It would be dumb to not take the loan. If I can take a $3 million loan, pay $15,000 a month for it, and then make $45,000 a month on it, I would be netting myself a profit of $30,000 a month. Why would I not take the loan? Right? I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves, right? And so it's free money. If I run 120 cattle at least, it's free money. Free money, the land is free, the land is equitable, the money's free. It's free money. If I do the work, it's free money. So that's how I see it. And that's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.